Capital Games just released a kit reveal for the first Warg character in Heroes of Middle-earth, Udurz. Udurz is a tank. He's going to have a small amount of synergy with the Misty Mountain squad, and he's going to have heavy synergy with goblins. Udurz's kit is centered around the bleed mechanic, and I personally believe that it's a really well-developed kit. One thing that I want to note before we get into the kit discussion is the unlock event for Udurz is going to run from Thursday, December 7th until Thursday, December 14th, which is going to have a little bit of overlap with the Thorin Legendary unlock event. This overlap offers a unique opportunity for people who are willing to spend, because if you're close to the Thorin unlock with your goblins, but for example, you don't have enough guild currency, or for some reason you were behind on your hard node farms, you could simply buy the Udurz unlock at 5 stars and you'd still be able to make it through the Thorn event on time. So let's get into what makes Udurz a great addition to your Goblin squad and at least a serviceable 5th member for your Misty Mountain team. Feeding Fangs is Udurz's basic attack, and I'll have the initial unlock text as well as the maxed ability text on screen, but I do want to highlight some of the synergy for this ability. I mentioned that this kit heavily synergizes with the bleed mechanic. If the enemy that Udurz attacks has bleed, Udurz will heal for a percentage of his max health. Heem did confirm in the official Discord today that Udurz will heal on a retaliate if the enemy has a bleed. Terror Strike Howl is Udurz's special one, and this is an ability that has 5 stamina, and you actually get 5 stamina to start. So what's great about Terror Strike Howl is it's going to give the highest damage Misty Mountain squad member an immediate turn, and it's also going to grant 2 stacks of Goblin Fury. So if you're not familiar with Goblin Fury, it's a mechanic that was previously only available with the Great Goblin's leadership. And what it does is for every stack, it grants 5% damage and 5% focus. This is a mechanic that in a situation like the raid, particularly something like Chapter 2 of the raid, it could get out of hand fairly quickly. The longer a fight goes, the more chances Udurz will have to get this ability off, add additional Goblin Fury stacks, and you're also going to be getting Goblin Fury stacks from Great Goblin's leadership ability. So I think it's something that could be very interesting to test out once people start unlocking Udurz. So I want to talk about the Goblin character damage output. These statistics that are on screen are damage without glyphs. As you can see, the Great Goblin has 3,182 damage. I think the Great Goblin will be a great target for Terror Strike Howl because of the bleed on his basic. The next highest damage character is Grimpa, coming in at 3,064. I do think that Grimpa is going to be a good character to use in Chapter 3 of the Mines of Moria raid, but I do feel like he's situational otherwise. He's good for survival builds, and I know Swag mentioned in his video yesterday that Grimpa being on a guild node means you can get him to 7-star faster. So it's really one of those things I think you have to weigh and balance. Are you going to be able to get Orphers faster? Do you already have Orphers built? If not, then until you can get Orphers to the 7-star level, you probably should consider using Grimpa, especially because of that survivability piece. The next highest damage character is Golbers at 3,016, and actually Orphers is 3,016 as well. We'll get into him in just a second. But for Golbers, I think this is another character that's a great target for Terror Strike Howl, simply because of the bleed on his basic and also the bleed on a special one. So really, Golbers is the catalyst for what makes Udurz great. So mentioned Orphers. I think Orphers is actually good in Chapter 2 for single target damage and particularly the crit that he gains with his passive. There's less survivability than Grimpa, but I do think that Orphers can apply more pressure in PvP situations with the AoE, and possibly he's also going to do slightly better in Chapter 1 because I think that AoE would allow you to get around taunts. So the final character is Chef Kraska, and you can see here that his damage is significantly lower than the others. I highly doubt you would find yourself in a situation where you would want to use Chef Kraska for Udur's special one, but I do want to leave this here so that you can see it. The next ability is Gorfang, which is Udur's special 2. This ability has 3 stamina, and you get 3 stamina to start, so it's an ability that's available on turn 1, although I would highly recommend that in most situations you would use the special one to start out with. There is some synergy here as well with bleed. Again, that's a common theme across this character's kit. But the other interesting thing for Gorfang is it dispels boons. So I think that this is going to be a great character for Chapter 2 of the Mines of Moria raid. The final ability for Udurz's kit is Pack Retribution, which is his passive. And again, we've got synergy with bleed here. If an enemy with bleed attacks a Warg or Goblin character, Udurz will retaliate, and he'll also gain 2 stacks of provoke. Additionally, he will gain a percentage of max health for every Misty Mountain ally. And Haim confirmed that there would only be 1 retaliate if there's an AoE attack. So basically, this passive can only proc once per turn. There was also a community question from Zell on the official Discord about the special 2 being lower stamina than the special 1, which is definitely abnormal. But Haim confirmed this was intentional, and it does make sense given that turn meter manipulation is so important, that the ability that allows you to manipulate turn meter would have more stamina. So kind of strange that they flip-flopped it where you would typically have the special 2 be the higher stamina ability, but good that we got some confirmation on that. So ultimately, I think Udurz is going to be an immediately impactful character. I think he's going to have a ton of synergy with the Goblin squad, and I think a lot of people are going to use him in the raid. I don't think we're going to see him in the PvP meta until we get multi-squad. I've also talked to at least one whale who says that he plans on trying to test out Udurz in his Dol Guldur squad with the Black Beast. So I'm really interested to see how that works out. I think maybe you could throw in Udurz and Golbers so that you get some of that bleed synergy. You could maybe try Great Goblin as the large character. I'm certainly interested in seeing how that pans out for the person who said they were going to try this, and I want to see what maybe interesting setups you all might have. So leave a comment down below. Let me know whether you're planning on going for Udurz, whether you're going to wait and pick him up free to play down the road. But I really like the character design. I like the kit design. I think that Capital Games really hit a home run with this character, and I'm looking forward to seeing more characters like this in the future. So thank you for giving my channel an opportunity. As you can tell, this is my first face cam or face reveal video. I'm looking at doing some more content like this in the future. If you like this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and check out my Discord channel. It's, I think, going to be a great resource for you if you're looking for character kit discussions, as well as it's another place where you can check out my free-to-play farming guide. So check that out, and I will see you in the next video.